guys, me Ainu here. Thank you for coming to see my video. So today I want to talk about my health. It's my health upload. But first, I want to just let you know why I have not been uploading for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago I did not upload because I wanted to concentrate on my work. I wanted to get basically there was a proposal that needed to get done. There was a deadline coming, and the thing is that even though time wise I would have been able to do both the work and the videos, I just did not feel comfortable with the stress level. So basically after the cancer diagnosis I tried to minimize the stress levels, like to minimize how many things I think I should get done in one day. That less is more, kind of like I do better job, and just if I just have to worry about one thing, 2 things, and just do that, and that's it for that day. And then last week, I really thought that last week I'm going to be able to do a lot of videos. I was really expecting myself to be together. I was really excited, but then when Monday rolled around, I realized that I'm very weak. I can't do it. So basically last Monday I was really weak. The whole day I felt actually very guilty about it, but I just couldn't do it. I felt so tired and not good at all. And actually a few days later I realized the reason why I had been feeling so tired was because my blood counts were so low that I actually needed blood transfusion. But I will get to that. So first let's go back to 2 weeks from now. If you hear some, that's my piggy, Posu. She unfortunately has to be inside the house a lot because of the heat. I'm too worried about letting her be outside, especially as pigs don't have sweat glands. So yes, I do have her water bowl there that she can drink water at all times. She has shade. She even has her little pool. Enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourself? Yes! Isn't Boss so cute? But unfortunately it's just too much for her, and so now, because she has to stay indoors, she gets really bored and starts kind of just, right now she's just chewing on boots. She gets when she digs outdoors, she gets mud on her face, and so this pink bed needs to be washed once a week or at least every 2 weeks. It gets completely clean, by the way, like I can get all the soft stuff out, but the other one is actually clean, the other bed right now. And this is her main bed. This is really expensive bed. This is like $130, the soft one where she actually fits, and it's the biggest bed I have ever found for the dogs because there are no beds sold for pigs. Let me get back to my health stuff. Sorry about, I just love talking about my piggy here. Okay, so 2 weeks ago I had appointment for first to give blood, then see a doctor, and then go get chemo. And when I get chemo, Halaven at the moment what I'm getting. I also get Procrit shots to boost my red blood cell count, and Neulasta shots to boost my white blood cell count. Right. So I gave my blood, I went to see the doctor, and it was a very long appointment. We talked about a lot of stuff. The first bad news was, so the very first thing that we discuss every time is my blood work. So basically she has a printout of the blood work. So basically when you give blood, like in an hour, all the results are printed out and the doctor just comes in and sees what's what. And she also usually gives me a copy of it if I want, because if I want to see it in internet, like eventually my blood results will go also to internet, where I can, like the patient portal, where I can see my results. However, they take like I think like 5 days or something to upload. So I usually like to get a paper copy just directly from my doctor, just to get like a earlier version of it. And the bad news was that unfortunately I was not able to get chemo because my platelet count was too low, which this of course sucked, because you know, it always makes me scared. It kind of makes me happy because, oh yes, I don't have to go through with it, but at the same time it's scary because, you know, it's a cancer medication. This is something that actually fights the cancer, and you just don't want to miss a session. Okay, the good news was that when my doctor, so she always kind of goes over with her hands, try to see if there are lumps, plus she also checks the lumps that she knows are here on my neck, so 3 on this side, 1 on this side, and she thought that, well, those lumps feel like smaller. I cannot really tell because I constantly keep touching those lumps like every single day, many times, so I cannot really tell if they're small or not. But she, because she kind of does it every just once a month, she said yeah, she feels like they're smaller, so that would mean that the chemo is working. So that's what the doctor thought. Yeah. So we also talked about Guardant 360. Remember, one of my latest updates, health updates, I talked about Guardant 360. So what she thinks, how she explained things to me, but I'm not going to include this information to this specific video because I think it can be like a video on its own, and I want to talk about it longer, and I have already planned like a long talk for this video, so that's like an extra material for my next health update, which hopefully comes soon. I hope to do it actually this week. This is in my hopefully to-do list box at the moment, but you know, does it get to the reality box? We will see. Anyway, so what else did my doctor say? That we did a big change to my current pain medications, and number one thing is that she also said to me that she's not an expert, that don't think I'm an expert. She's an expert in cancer, she's not expert in pain medication, and I really need to get my ass back to the palliative care. Sorry about the language here, but so basically she tried to get rid of me in sense of the pain medications like half year ago. I did try the palliative care one time, I didn't like them, and I stopped. I didn't keep going there. I just had one appointment, that was it. But now she says no, you should really go back because things are going to get more complicated, and just please go back. Right, and also she decided at the moment to change my medications till I go see the palliative care. So basically there are long-acting pain medications and short-acting ones. By the way, if you want to get high, the long-acting ones don't get you high, just letting you know. But so the long-acting one, the morphine that I had was for 12 hours. I took it morning and evening, and I took I took exactly 60 milligrams morning and evening. And for short acting pain, so it's as needed, if that morphine is not enough, I had oxycodone as a short acting pain medication that would last only maybe 4 hours, something like that. So you would have to take it several times a day. And so she changed the morphine to fentanyl patches. So long-acting medication, she chose to have fentanyl patches. So basically, like Band-Aid, kind of, it's just stickers, like transparent stickers, no, not Band-Aids. They're just stickers that stick to you, like this big. And she chose to do it so that I would get 50 micrograms total, but in 2 different batches, because I said, can I cut the batch in half? But of course you can't, because later I actually went and read about it. That's completely no. Don't cut fentanyl batches in half. So she said, okay, what we're going to do is you're going to get 2 batches, both 25 micrograms each, and so you put 2 batches on you, and the batches have to be on you 72 hours. So that's really long term thing. And what I said was that the short one, the oxycodone, short-term acting pain medication, oxycodone she changed to short-term morphine. So short-term morphine, that would have to be taken every 4 hours or some like though. So, and she wrote down at the time 50 milligrams 3 times a day, while before that I had 10 milligram oxycodone 4 times a day. So why did she do it? So basically I kept complaining that I cannot sleep with this morphine, and actually now I have proof. So before that I actually kept saying that, you know, morphine is really like, I had days or nights when I didn't take morphine in the evenings because I just choose not to take it because I felt like I can handle the pain. Maybe the pain wasn't so bad, and then I slept very well, and also the constipation problem really disappeared. And so I never ever not have morphine, long-term morphine during the day, but occasion, couple times a week, I would try to skip the morphine at night just to be able to sleep, catch up on my sleep, catch up on my constipation problems. And I was complaining about it, and then she also said that, and also I was saying that every time I'm having chemo, the pain a couple days is really bad, and it's like increasing, that the pain is really bad, and the current medication I'm having is not enough for it. Something is not right. We need to address that. And so she basically said, okay, what we're going to do is let's change them. Let's change them because I guess she thought, she didn't actually say it to me out loud, but I think she knew that maybe what she did say. So I don't know if she thought that the fentanyl would be better for the sleep, which actually is. In a minute I will talk about it. But she didn't actually say anything. She just, only thing she said, she listened to me, and then she said, you know, over time maybe some of the medications, the pain medications, don't work as well as they used to. Just this, you know, let's change. And that's basically we ended up changing. So what I can say that the fentanyl, now that I have tried it for some time, actually is better, and I like it much more than the long-acting morphine, because constipation is almost not an issue, and also I'm able to sleep better. And the reason I'm able to sleep better, not reason, I don't know what the reason is, but I know definitely that my sleep is considerably better because I have a Fitbit. At the moment I'm not wearing it because it's upstairs loading, and that shows you the quality of sleep. It actually shows you when you're awake, right? When you're restless, you're sleeping but you're restless. So 3 stages: the restless stage where you sleep, then light sleep, and deep sleep. It calls it something else. And moderate sleep or something else, but basically it's 3 stages. Basically the restless stage, light sleep, and deep sleep. And what I found was when I take morphine in the evening, so basically for the period of time when I'm supposed to sleep, I never ever reach the deep sleep stage, never. Plus, overall, the total amount of sleep that I get is much less. And maybe, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, she also said that, so getting back to what the doctor talked about, what the doctor said, so the doctor also said, well, about the chemo pain that I said that it's getting worse, it's getting worse. She didn't really say much about it, except for let's try taking Claritin every time you start getting chemo. You should get Claritin for a week, just let's see, maybe it helps. I haven't actually looked up yet. I'm hoping to do it very soon, to try to figure out what is the biological reason why days after the chemo I get so much pain after that. In a nutshell, that was it with this doctor's appointment. Right after the doctor's appointment, I went straight to the pharmacy, and my favorite pharmacy is the hospital pharmacy. So basically it's in the same building pretty much as my doctor is. The pharmacy got my fentanyl, a lot of other stuff, Claritin, and the pharmacy said, I'm sorry, but we only have non-brand Claritin, only generic version. I said, okay, I don't care, just give it to me. It was like, it was really cheap. I feel like $5, 100 tablets or something like that.
Get out, Puzzle Piggy. I love you, but stop. Puzzle, stop! Emma, you have to help.
Puzzle, 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 puzzle. Puzzle, 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 puzzle.
Thank
Puzzle,
you.
puzzle, 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 puzzle. So I went home and I tried fentanyl right away. I put the fentanyl patches on right away. And I put them on around here, like 2 patches here. And the crazy stuff is with fentanyl patches that unfortunately they are very strongly depend on where you put them. So they kept coming off, like they just constantly on, off, on, off, on, off. I taped them with Scotch tape, Band-Aid. I keep putting on stuff to just keep them on, and they just kept coming off. And so I was so sick of it and worried about it that next day, so Wednesday is when I put them on. You're supposed to hold them 72 hours. That's 3-day-night period, right? That's a long time. And then already Thursday, next day, I decided enough is enough. I don't trust this situation. I pulled everything off. I put 2 new ones on. But I don't know what happened. Something really happened. Another thing, but my doctor had said that when I put this fentanyl patches on, at first I have to also take morphine, the long-acting morphine, because the fentanyl patches don't, they start acting right away, but it takes them like 24 hours to really get the full amount in your body to really go full blown way. And so it also takes a long time for this medication to actually go out of your body. So when you take after 72 hours, you take the patches off and put new ones on, then those the medication from the previous patches is still in you, and the new patches are going to take 24 hours to start properly working. So that's how it's supposed to go. And so the very first time you put them on, you're supposed to take them with other medication because they are not as strong. So okay, I do that, and then I start getting very dizzy, nauseated, very, very bad. I take one off because I'm thinking maybe I can handle it. Maybe that's the problem. And immediately I start crying. And I mean like bawling. I never ever cry. Like emotional, like dial went just completely crazy. And I mean, like within like 10 minutes after I pulled that patch off, and then I put that patch back on because I thought, okay, this is not right. Why am I crying like that? Like, you know, after basically you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put that patches on so that in a place where they stay 72 hours, you're not supposed to have them like come on and off. You're not supposed to pull them out, put something new on, etc., etc. And I was so worried about them. Also, I had a lot of stress because of it was still that week we were supposed to do the proposal. I was really stressed out. I was really worried. I even called to the emergency. So basically, my hospital, my cancer hospital, has like on-call oncologist where you can call if it's after hours, and it was, and I called and they said, you know, something, you know, I think you're maybe just stressed out, just calm down, what's wrong with you? Anyway, they didn't really help me, but they told me, you know, you can't do this stuff with us fentanyl patches, and we don't really know why you're feeling this way. Anyway, I didn't know what happened really. What happened was that I had extreme nausea. None of my nausea medications worked. I had extreme dizziness, and then at some point I also had this pulling effect, like this emotional effect. Something was wrong, and I thought that only thing I had done differently was those fentanyl patches. I pulled them off. I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm not going to put back. I'm not putting them back. I can handle the pain better than the nausea. I had to change my mind about that later, but at that point I decided that's it. Enough is enough. I don't want the nausea. Nausea probably caused with the fentanyl patches. I don't know what it is. I won't want near them. Okay, and so almost a week goes by, and so I had to go to the chemo. I go there, I do my blood work, and that week, so that was last week, I was already very, very weak. I was feeling really crappy, and I go there, and then right away the nurse comes and tells me, so basically if you go after the blood work, go to the chemo infusion center, you get your chemo chair, the nurse comes with with a sheet of paper that all the blood results, and he says, you know, the thing is that most likely you're not getting chemo again because your platelet count is even lower than the week before. Plus, on top of that, your blood counts are so low that you need blood right now. But because it's relatively late, we cannot give you blood right now because it takes so long, and we're going to close and before you actually get it done, because blood work takes, just to get the blood itself takes 3 hours, right? I also it takes time to actually order the blood and yada yada yada. And I had like afternoon appointment, and so it was bad. I was like, oh god, it just sucks. Okay, but then the nurse also said that, okay, you know what, I'm going to call, you know, the doctor. I'm going to ask just in case what, you know, we'll see what to do. And then whoever that person was, whoever that doctor was, I don't know, maybe it was my doctor. I guess it must have been my doctor. I don't know. Anyway, whoever that doctor was told him, so nurse was a him, told him that, okay, you know, we don't care, yes, she needs that chemo now. We don't care, yes, the platelets are really low and they're even lower and yada yada. Give her the chemo. And yes, we know her hemoglobin is really low. She has like no red blood counts red cells much anymore left, and so we don't care, let's just give her chemo, right? And I got chemo. So I was scheduled to get blood for the next day. I was supposed to get it 9 a.m. So next day I got to the chemo center at like 1 p.m. Like it took me that long. like I woke up in the morning like 8 a.m. because my daughter was, Mom, you need to wake up, you need to go to the doctor, you need blood, man. Mom, you need blood. So, and I was like, oh, leave me alone. 9 o'clock. Mom, it's already 9 o'clock, you need to go. Well, luckily my hubby decided to take my daughter to work with him because she had been asking like all summer long that she wants to go to our workplace. Please, can she go? And so hubby finally took her. And so like maybe 9:30 she was gone. She stopped bothering me yet. So I woke up like 10 o'clock, but then I was just so slow because you have to understand that because the chemo had already been in my blood now, it was already lowering my red cell count even more. So I was getting even more weaker and was just barely holding on. Like just getting up the stairs is like we have like several story house. Just getting up the stairs was such like it just I had to like take a break. I had to lie down every time I got up the stairs. I need to get something down the stairs. I go get something, I get up, I lie down again. Or I need to take a shower, I lie down again. And so in these situations, what I often do, I call my mom through a Gmail Hangout, face-to-face talk, and then I basically tell her, you know, she has to be there for me just to kind of get me to where I need to get. So get to the hospital in this case, right? And she was there, she just, you know, listened to me, we talked, just like emotional support because at this point I only had my pig with me and the pig wasn't really helping. And right, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can get there, but I need to get there. I don't know if I can get there. Technically, I could have had the blood work done even the next day. I could have called the schedule, but the reality is the next day I'm even worse. And yeah, so I knew I just need to somehow manage to get myself dressed, you know, clean, forget about the makeup, like come on, and then just get to the car, for God's sake. And so I got myself to the car, I drove myself to the hospital, I got out, I got where I need to get. And they already know me in the chemo center. I call it chemo center, but it's actually infusion center, but I call it chemo center. Anyway, and they know me there. They don't ask what my name is or anything. They are like just print out that little signy thingy that goes around your wrist, like who you are and the codes and your birth date and everything. And then yeah, he just printed it out, gave it to me, and I said, you know, here, set to go, like, because I just go there so often. And I got my blood, and with blood transfusion it works really fast, like right then and there you feel much better. And I did indeed feel much better after the blood work. Right, but then see, it's still over. It's still not over. I'm still talking. I got home and then the chemo pain started to really work. So basically, like early in the day, I don't really feel that much pain. My pain usually keeps growing and gets the peak in the evening, reaches the peak in the evening. And so I already felt that I'm getting those pains and it's not good, and it got worse and worse. And at some point I got really scared. I don't know if the pain levels maybe 7 out of 10, something like that, and I knew that's going to grow. It's like I can tell. And I knew it's a chemo pain, and every time it's growing. I had been taking my Claritin. I was expecting it not to be so bad, and I realized that, you know, my doctor really hadn't really done anything for the brain. She had not given me any more prescription for that specific pain after the chemo, even though I specifically had asked her a week ago. And she didn't do anything except for just take Claritin, right? Claritin didn't work. I don't know, maybe. So now I had been talking already today. I got like a response from my doctor and nurse and everything, and they said maybe one of the reasons why Claritin didn't do anything was because it was the generic brand, that you should actually get the real Claritin one. Like, try that next time. Plus also I'm going to see palliative care. I have appointment this Wednesday. I'm hoping that things are going to get better. But anyway, last Thursday I was there, the pain was coming, it was like tsunami coming, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. It was bad. I had just taken morning, I had been taking my 60 milligrams of morphine, but the pain was already growing. I took short-term morphine. I had no oxycodone left, and I was like, okay, F it. Whatever it is, I'm going to try those fentanyl patches again. You know, it is what it is. I'm going to try them, and they helped. Even though they are not as strong, the first 24 hours, they don't reach their maximum strength. The first 24 hours, they do start working within 10 minutes. Like so basically I put the first patch on, nothing. Like the pain was still pretty much the same, like just kind of a little bit less, but also, also it's just messing around here. That's the noise. And I keep waiting. I think I managed to wait like an hour or something, and then I mean, the pain got to that level of 10 out of 10. Like I was like starting to cry and scream. I put the second patch on and I waited, and it started working, and I took more morphine, the long-term one, the short-term one, and they started working after a while. I got some almonds. I gave my bosses some almonds. Okay, so Thursday I survived. I did have to deal with a very severe pain, but eventually morphine and fentanyl patches worked. And I was like, basically by the end of completely the like midnight, end of the day, till the end of it, the pain was under control and I was able to fall asleep. But then Friday, so my chemo pain usually takes, so if I get it like Wednesday, I'm surprised I didn't really get much of the pain on Wednesday, but I did. So it usually goes all the way to Friday, and Friday I got the pain again. Oh my god. And this time the same amount of medication I had taken for Thursday did not work. It was 10 out of 10 pain, and I was like, I was going crazy. I didn't know what to do. So I put the third batch on, third fentanyl batch, and I was like, I don't know, I need to put the fourth one on, but I should wait until my hubby gets home so that he's ready with an Narcan in case I go overdose. I mean, it was that bad. And so I called him, he's like 10 minutes away. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Enormous amount of pain. And so I called again to the on-call oncologist, and she was such a... So basically she got really mad at me that I had been taking slightly more medication than what was prescribed. On normal occasion, yes, you're not supposed to take these kind of medications more than you're prescribed, because you run out of them and you don't get new prescription. But this is the case when your pain is the same, right? When your pain doesn't go 10 out of 10, right? And so she got really mad at me about it. Oh, I need to make a note to your oncologist. Oh my God, how many do you have left? Do you understand? This is like very regulated medication. You're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, she's not hearing me. I have 10 out of 10 pain. I don't give a F about any kind of regulation. I'm just right now, I actually tell him the reason I'm calling you, I don't care about this if I have enough medication to the end of the month. I care about what's happening now, because I cannot handle this pain right this minute. And also, I told her, I'm calling basically to make sure that I'm not overdosing, because I will take that medication. I don't care what you're saying. But I actually didn't take this medication. She said, you really need to take this third patch off just in case, because the reason is that fentanyl reaches its maximum potency in 24 hours. So even though you're okay now, you can actually get an overdose later, the next day, and you don't even know when it's coming, right? Because that's when it's going to kick in. So take it off because it wasn't in your prescription. And but she was also like the shorter morphine. I was taking like 2 instead of 1, but the thing is, it was a new medication since I had never tested it out, and it turns out, which I now discussed with my doctor, is that it's just not as strong as the oxycodone had been. That was for the same purpose, short-term one, and I had taken it more, like, right, so basically I need to take more of it. Now we had discussed it, it's clear I actually needed to take as many I was taking because I was regulating it, right? Even though it was prescribed like 3 a day, I actually need to take like 5 or so because it's just not strong enough. But yeah, that that doctor was really weird in that sense. Like, she got really upset that I wasn't by the script. But again, that's prescription that the medication were written for was when my regular pain, right? Not the pain I was feeling that minute. And also what was confusing for me is that she didn't say, if this is the case, please go to emergency room right now. It was more like she didn't even believe me or something. I don't know. Maybe some patients had like abused her by getting more painkillers and she was more sensitive about it. And you know, every addict who uses opiates drives me, like, I'm so incredibly angry at those people. I feel like they should be all put to jail. I don't care what kind of addiction that addiction is. That addiction is not their fault, that it's that illness, blah, 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 blah. You know who has an illness? I have an illness. So the reason why my oncologist would be scared, or if I go to emergency room, where the emergency room doctor would be scared to give me stuff, is because of those idiots who go to emergency room to abuse other people to get prescriptions, right? And actually I had this problem that I had those horrible pains, and before I was actually diagnosed, I had these horrible pains. I ended up in an emergency room several times, and one time I went there and I really felt like they don't believe me, that I'm telling them this is a pain, you know, pain is all over the place and yada yada yada. And I mean, at that point I didn't even know anymore. I mean, I had been living with this pain so long. I was taking ibuprofen non-stop, and I was really sick basically, and I had so much pain, and they were treating me like I'm kind of abusing it. So they gave me IV of morphine, and I felt tremendous relief. And then they're like, they actually didn't really care to see what's wrong with me. If they would have actually done a scan, it would have shown cancer, but they did nothing. They were ready to kick me out. And they were like, okay, what kind of pain medications you want to go with? And do you want Dilaudid? And I said, I don't want Dilaudid because I have had it after surgery before. It's one of those, I think it's also an opiate, and like one of the strong pain medications. And I didn't want it, and he said, can I have morphine? And I said no. And that was it. And they gave me basically, okay, just go get ibuprofen. I think they gave me naproxen or something, which is basically ibuprofen.
I got the mail on that.
Right, and so Saturday, okay, I did manage to get by and live till Saturday. The pain at some point went away.
Can I like to show them that I'm here?
So I sent very angry email to my doctor. I got a very good response, and they showed that they do care and everything. And so yeah. So currently the situation is, the summary of the situation is, let's go up in, kuidas ma natuke here. So the reason, okay, so the summary of the situation is currently I'm okay. The fentanyl patches work. I don't have to take any extra morphine, just the short-term morphine, but not the long-term one. And not even like yesterday, didn't have to even get the short-term morphine. Like it's pretty much under control. Yesterday I went to swim, so that's why I guess I have like more pain today. Every time I exercise, next day I have more pain. But what is not under control is next time I would get chemo, the pain would be again ridiculous. And so as far as I understand, I already discussed it with my doctor, it's possible that I have to be hospitalized to get a pain medication through IV. That's a possibility, and we'll see what my palliative care doctor says. Bye. This is very long. I have to start editing. I have to get this video up before this day has finished. Okay, and tomorrow maybe I will put some makeup on. Okay, bye.